Welcome to my channel, Scary Hours. Last winter, I made a move I thought would bring some peace into my life. I found this small, quaint house for rent, just outside the city limits. It had that classic countryside charm, looking serene and peaceful in the daylight. But as soon as the sun went down, that charm twisted into something else. The house felt hollow, empty in a way that made the hairs on my arms stand up. The first strange thing I noticed was the landline phone. It was an old rotary model, caked in a thick layer of dust, sitting on a rickety side table. It looked like a forgotten relic from another decade, yet somehow it was still connected. I didn't think much of it at first. Who uses a landline anymore, right? But then the calls started. Every single night, like clockwork, at precisely 3:17 a.m., it would ring. Just once. A single, sharp, metallic jolt that would rip me from my sleep. I'd checked the caller ID, but there was nothing. No number, no name, just a blank screen staring back at me. For weeks, I tried my best to ignore it. I'd roll over, pull the covers over my head, and tell myself it was just faulty wiring or some bizarre technical glitch. But the consistency of it, that exact time, it started to gnaw at me. Then one night, my curiosity finally got the better of me. I couldn't stand the suspense anymore. As the clock ticked past 3:16, I sat up in bed, my heart pounding in my chest, and waited. The moment the ring shattered the silence, I lunged for the phone and snatched the receiver off the hook, pressed it to my ear, my hand trembling slightly. At first, there was just static, a faint crackle that sounded like a million tiny insects. Then, a voice emerged from the noise. It was low, raspy, and trembling, like someone speaking through chattering teeth. It whispered my full name. A wave of ice-cold dread washed over me. I was frozen in place, my throat too tight to even breathe. How could anyone know my full name? And who was this? Before I could even process the shock, the voice spoke again, its tone urgent and laced with fear. "Don't come looking." And just like that, the line went dead. The silence that followed was heavier and more terrifying than the call itself. The air in the room felt thick, alive, like someone was standing right behind me, their breath hot on the back of my neck. Shaking, I checked the call log on the phone's little digital display, hoping for some clue, any explanation. But what I saw made my blood run cold. The call log showed the call hadn't come from an outside line. It said the call came from asterisk, inside the house asterisk. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely function. I ripped the phone cord from the wall jack with a violent tug and threw the entire phone into the trash bin outside. I wanted it gone, out of sight, out of mind. But the next night proved how wrong I was. At 3:17 a.m., I was jolted awake again. Not by the phone in the trash, but by the same sound, echoing from a different place. It was fainter now, muffled, but unmistakable. It was coming from my bedroom wall, faint metallic ringing, vibrating from somewhere behind the plaster. I pressed my ear against the cold surface, listening intently. The more I focused, the clearer it became. There was a phone ringing inside my wall. Driven by a mix of terror and a desperate need for answers, I grabbed a hammer from my toolbox. I started tapping on the wall, following the sound. I found a spot where the ringing was loudest, and I swung. The plaster cracked and then gave way, revealing a dark, musty crawlspace hidden behind it. A foul smell of damp earth and decay poured into the room, making me gag. In there, nestled in the darkness, was another old rotary phone, its black shell covered in cobwebs. It was still ringing, but this phone wasn't connected to anything. Its cord just snaked away into the blackness of the crawl space, disappearing from sight. I stumbled backward, my heart hammering against my ribs. And then, as suddenly as it started, the ringing stopped. An absolute deafening silence fell over the room. And from the hole in the wall, the same trembling voice whispered, its words chilling me to the bone. You shouldn't have answered. The lights in the room flickered violently, and in that split second of strobing darkness, I saw it. A pale, skeletal hand shot out from the crawl space, its long fingers clutching the broken edge of the wall. Its nails were black and broken. I didn't scream. I didn't even think. I just ran. I burst out of the house and didn't stop running until the streetlights of the city were back in view. I never went back. Not for my clothes, not for my deposit, not for anything. A few weeks later, I worked up the courage to call the landlord. I needed some kind of explanation. His voice was calm, almost bored when he told me. No phones had ever been officially installed in that house, not since the last tenant, a young man who vanished without a trace back in 2003. He left everything behind. The only thing they found was a single phrase. Scrawled on the bedroom wall in black marker, 3:17 a.m. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. You're watching Scary Hours. Sleep tight. Maybe check your walls before you go to bed tonight.